Hey guys, and welcome to the final part of the Adobe Premiere Pro CS3 training. So far I've showed you a bunch of things like how to import, add in video and audio effects, fade in, slow and fast motion, and basically how to use the program. And now I'm going to show you a few other things, such as how to add and remove tracks, creating titles. I'm going to go over that, pretty detailed, and also creating workspaces and if you stuff your workspace up, how to restore it. Alright, we'll start off by adding and removing tracks. First of all, tracks are the video and audio tracks in the timeline. Now, at any time you can add or remove tracks. To do this, you want to go Sequence, Add Tracks, or Delete Tracks, depending on what you want to do. So we'll just delete one first. Now, you can delete all the video tracks and audio tracks which are empty. Or you can change this to Target Track, and that's the one that you have selected at the moment. But we'll just delete all the empty ones and hit OK, and as you can see, it deletes them, because it might be taking up too much room. And then to add them, it's exactly the same thing. You just say one video track, maybe 0 audio tracks, and you can choose where to place it. The target track, after it or before it, I'll just leave it as it is, and there it is, it shows up here. You can also collapse and minimize the tracks by using these arrows here. Now that comes handy with audio tracks, because sometimes you don't want to see all the audio. You can turn the layers off by clicking the eye, or for audio, you just toggle the sound button. Now these are just adding keyframes, removing keyframes, and showing the keyframes. Next we'll look at workspaces. Now the default one is the one we have here right now. Now let's say you do something wrong by accident, so as you can see there's a cross here to close the timeline, and as you can see Control Z won't work. So to fix this, you want to go Window, Workspace, and choose Reset Current Workspace, and hit Yes. Now that will reset it back to the default. Now we're going to just have to double click on the sequence, which is up the project, to open it up, and there it is. Same with anything else. You can also move them around, so you want the timeline at the top. Just drag and you drop it at the top. So you can do whatever you want with it, but if you don't like it in the end, it's exactly the same as before. You just go Window, Workspace, Reset Current Workspace. Now let's say you have one that you like, so maybe you get rid of the info, you get rid of the history, you might move the effects up the top or something. You go Window, Workspace, and you can go New Workspace, and you can save it, and then anytime you can go back to it, and as you can see we've got 4 here, but your new one will appear there, so you can have one for, specializing in tutorial editing, and that might get rid of stuff you don't need, such as the source, or maybe the audio mixer, you might not need that, just to save room, You can do whatever you want. Now we'll start looking at creating titles. Now this is a bit different. At first I thought it would be in the video effects, but it wasn't. There's a few ways of doing it. You can go File, New, Title, or you can right click and go New Item, Title. Now you can do whatever you want. We'll just do this way and call it whatever you want. So Title 1 and hit OK. Now this brings up the title window, which is pretty much like another program. It's got all the features here. You can look at all the masking. There's heaps of stuff. So it's very customizable. You can do heaps with it. So first you want to select the Type In tool and click in the middle and say whatever you want. So my movie. Then if you select the arrow tool, you can move it around. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but I'll just show you briefly. You've got all these options here you can play around with. You can make shape layers and make it look like an underline, or you can do whatever you want. Just play around with it. And another good thing is if you select the arrow tool and select your font, you can look through all the styles which are down here, and there's quite a lot of them. Let's say you like this one here, just click on it and it will bring it up for you. Some are good, some are not so good. Let's say this one here, it's italic. You might not want it italic. You can, go through the options and change it yourself, or you can customize the colors. Everything is customizable. These are just presets. You can change them as much as you want. On the right hand side are all the properties: position, opacity, font, color. You might want it, blue, and just pretty much everything's customizable. It's pretty easy to do. Just read what it says and you can figure it out. Shadow, you can get rid of it. Like I said, it's like a different program, so you can copy and paste. And then once you're finished, I reckon there should be like an OK button or something, but what you do is you close at the top left, or I think on the top right hand corner on a Windows. Now what that will do, it will create it in the project window. To edit it, double click on it and you can edit it from there. Now if you want this in your movie, which you probably will, you just drag it and drop it into the track, and there it is. Now as you can see, it automatically goes on top of the footage right now. But let's say you don't want that, you just move the other footage away. So the title comes in, then the footage starts. It's really easy to use. You can double click on it here as well. Now one thing I want to show you, which I came across, if you select the layer, you copy it and you paste it, well, as you can see here, it pasted it in the video track because this video track was selected. We want to paste it on the video track number 2, which is the top one. So select the video track number 2, then paste it. We have the 2 titles, and if you double click on one, you can edit it. But if you edit something here, it will save it to both of them. So here it is, and the other one that we copied it from. So pretty much they're the same file you copied. If you want to do it like that, you copy the actual file here, Control C and Control V, and then re-import it. Now that's a separate one now, it's not the same one. Alright, that's pretty much all I'm going to show you for now. Make sure you look through the window and, just play around with these so you know what they all are. And also, if you go sequence, render work area, or just hit enter on the keyboard, what that will do, it will render it, so then you can watch it, completely from start to finish without having to RAM preview. Because if you have a lot of effects in it and you play it, it will be in real time, but it might skip some frames and stuff. So if you want a perfect view of what it looks like, hit enter and it'll give you a proper review. Alright guys, thanks for watching my Premiere Pro CS3 training series. I hope this gets you started, and I'll have some more Premiere Pro tutorials up soon. Please rate and comment, and check out my site, dylanp23.net. There's a high quality version. You can find the high quality version of this video on there, as well as all my other videos. Thanks for watching guys, see ya.